Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to set up a reverse shell using PHP. PHP is everywhere on the web, and knowing how to leverage it during a penetration test is a must-have skill. Let's get into it. So, why PHP? Well, PHP powers a huge percentage of the web. Think WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, and countless custom applications. Some people joke that PHP stands for please hack properly. And honestly, with how many reverse shells I've popped through PHP, I can't even argue with that. When you find a file upload vulnerability or a remote code execution flaw in a PHP application, you can drop a PHP reverse shell and get interactive access to the server. The server runs your PHP code, which connects back to your machine, and you get a full command shell. The beauty is that PHP is already installed on the target, so there's nothing extra to deploy. Alright, first things first. On our Kali machine, we set up Netcat to listen on port 9001. That's our listening port where the target will connect back to us. The flags L for listen, V for verbose, N for no DNS, and P for port. Once this is running, it just sits there waiting for the incoming connection. Now, let's look at the PHP payload. Here's our reverse shell written to a file on the target. It uses the fsockopen function to create a TCP connection back to our Kali machine on port 9001. Then it uses proc-open to spawn a shell process and pipe standard in, standard out, and standard error through that socket. In a real engagement, you'd upload this file through a vulnerability, but for our demo, we've written it directly on the target. Now, we execute the PHP file. You can do this by running it with the PHP CLI, or in a real scenario, by browsing to the uploaded file through the web server. Let's use the CLI for this demo. And just like that, we're in. That feeling never gets old. It's like finding out there's leftover pizza in the fridge, except the fridge belongs to someone else. With their permission, of course. Back on our Kali machine, Netcat shows we've received a connection from the target. Let's run whoami to check who we are. We're running as www.data, which is the web server user, not root. That's expected, since the PHP script was executed by the web server process. Let's look at what's in the web root. Notice the wp-config file. That's a WordPress configuration file and a juicy target for database credentials. Now, this is a basic shell, so let's upgrade it with Python to get a proper TTY with tab completion and command history. Now, that one-liner is great for quick access, but for a more full-featured shell, the go-to is the PentestMonkey PHP reverse shell. It's a complete PHP script with proper error handling that gives you a much more stable interactive session. You can grab it straight from GitHub. Once you've downloaded it, you need to change two things. We use the sed command to update the IP address to point to our attacker Kali machine. And we set the port to match our listener on 9001. Let me verify those changes. Here you can see the IP is now set to our Kali host, and the port matches our Netcat listener. Upload this to the target, trigger it through the browser, and you've got a full-featured reverse shell. This is the version I use on most of my real engagements, because it's reliable and well-tested. Let's wrap up with the key takeaways. Start your listener first, always. The fsockopen one-liner is perfect for quick and dirty access when you need something fast. For real engagements, use the PentestMonkey full shell because it's more stable and feature-rich. Always upgrade your shell to a full TTY so you can work comfortably. And, of course, only do this in authorized penetration tests. Never on systems you don't have permission to test. That's it for this one. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below. I'm Khawaja, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until next time.